Hello there! Today is day 18 of working on a currently untitled project, so let's hop right in. So I increased the radius of the pickup for the power-ups. I think that's a bit nicer. I also added in a placeholder material change for when you actually use the power-ups. Some work to do on that. I have attempted to fix a problem where all the projectiles of a shot, for example with the shotgun, when you're powered up, would just end up being absorbed by the target if you were firing point blank. So now you can see that they actually go through the target if there's some left over, which is nice. There's some problems with that. I'll get into that during the ramble section. I added a rooms completed multiplier and a killstreak multiplier. The rooms completed goes up by 0.25x when you complete a room, and the killstreak multiplier goes up by 0.1x whenever you get a kill. Every 5 seconds, if you haven't killed an enemy, the killstreak multiplier goes down by 30%. Lots of tuning to do on that. So yeah. That's the current state of the project. If you want to listen to me ramble, feel free to stick around. Otherwise, feel free to click off. So, a couple other things. I fixed a bug where in Demo Scene 2, the ammo UI here on the player wasn't actually attached to the player. You might have noticed that in the previous recording. That was just a prefab issue. I hadn't applied it, changed an override to a prefab, and whoops. On the topic of the placeholder power material, it is woefully insufficient right now. Like, it's something which is better than literally nothing, but you still don't see it unless you're paying attention. I want to improve this during the initial outpass, which should hopefully come in a couple days. Some British Aether stuff, maybe some VFX. This is another spot where sound is going to be really important. I think that's going to be one of the big tells for when the power-ups wear off, is the sound effects. So yeah. As far as the problems on the projectiles shooting through enemies, you can see that some of them like spin off. That's because the collision is still happening. I'm just ignoring the fact that a collision happens, and so they just sort of spin around. That could get fixed if I just was willing to freeze the Y rotation on the shotgun projectile, for example, and now it's sort of fixed. But that doesn't change the fact that it's still like there's still a collision taking place. There's still velocity changing. Like, that just papers over the solution, or it papers over the problem rather. So that's, I need a more fundamental solution to this problem. Like, I need to somehow ignore the collision when it happens. I could try counteracting the force applied by the collision onto the rigid body, but I'm going to save that work for another day right now. I thought the other stuff was more important to take care of for the time being. Yeah, so on the topic of multipliers, I need to test this out a lot. This is the sort of thing that, like, it's going to be really hard to figure out, like, what good values for these are. Or at least I think it's going to be really hard to figure out what good values are. Yeah, there's just a whole lot of testing that's going to be needed on that. It also pauses while the room is inactive, or if you are just spawning into a room. The power up with the G spray is really good at clearing that room specifically. I really like it. It is completely imbalanced and feels really good. And I keep running into the buds projectiles. Yeah, it is also not, the Killstreak stuff is not nearly in your face enough to actually affect gameplay all that much. I should also probably pause power-ups while a level is changing, but that's less of an issue than the Killstreak, I think. I'll sort that out at some point. Like, the Killstreak is just sort of sitting in the upper left-hand corner, and if I just go ahead and maximize this, like, you can see, like, I'm not looking at that spot of the screen at all. Like, that's just not, it's not my field of view. My screen is big enough that, it's just not something I'm paying attention to at all. So that's not good. It needs to actually affect your gameplay, or at least it would be nice if it actually affected your gameplay, and it needs to be more than just sort of a bit of window dressing. Putting something on the player or mouse UI, the same way that the ammo bars are there, might be good. That might be a good way of handling that, but that might be too much information on that UI element. Like, there might be even more stuff I want to put on there after that. There's just a lot that could go on there, and I need to really be picky about what I actually choose to go on there. Yeah. Today I also spent a while figuring out why Unity was so slow. Like, when I changed the script, it was taking me like 30 seconds to get back to Unity. Turns out the main solution is just restarting Unity. Took it from 30 seconds down to like 5 seconds to restart script. Oops. I did learn a thing, that can, like, where is it again? Editor. This setting here, when entering play mode, do not reload domain or scene, takes it from, it means that it doesn't have to reload the assets, which takes this to time from like 5 or 6 seconds down to like a half second to load in, which is just so much nicer. It's just so much nicer. The fact that projectiles can now not all get absorbed by the first thing that they hit, if they are all spawning together, really does add a lot of punch through to the game, which is arguably very nice. Clearing out enemies like that was a lot easier. Yeah, I think that's everything for today. If you, last thing I think on the multipliers, I need to prototype out a bunch of other ways to get more score. Right now it's just a room multiplier and a killstreak multiplier. There's a whole set of options I talked with a friend about. Like style, which is kind of ripping from Ultra Kill, where if you use different weapons, you get more points, in some form or another. Then having a bunch of modifiers, like close range kills might give a multiplier onto that specific kill, long range kills maybe, but that might be dissonant with other design decisions and incentives. Backstabs, if you kill an enemy from behind. If you get multi-kills, if you kill a certain number of enemies within a fixed time frame, you get bonus points. Environmental or incidental kills. I'm not sure if this one will actually apply to the game, because right now there are no environmental kills. But that might be something I can prototype out. Or maybe I can make like the buds like neutral instead of an enemy, and then their projectiles can hit anyone, and you can shoot a bud to kill an enemy and get bonus points that way. variety kills, again, if you use more than one type of weapon to take out the same enemy, you get bonus points, maybe. Empowered kills, kills when you're using a power-up, give you bonus points. Feats of strength, like stuff like taking out the shield of a charger tank, which right now you can only really do with like the empowered shotgun or the empowered railgun. That's really the only practical way to take out a charger tank shield directly, because those are the only two things that do enough damage for that. Yeah, some general ideas are like, maybe there are certain patrons who want to entice certain behavior because, you're fighting a match for them and they want to be entertained in a specific way. So if you do specific things for them in a given room, you get bonus points for that. Like in this room, backstabs are worth double, or something like that. That might be a way to spice up each particular room, so you play it a bit differently each time if you're trying to maximize your score, all while minding your survivability and your while minding your kill streak modifier, because that's important as well. Yeah, there's a lot to go over there. There's a lot of balancing that can be done just on this aspect of the game, and it's going to be a really important thing to balance well. Yeah, anyways, I think that's all for now. Yeah, if you have any comments, questions, ideas, or anything else on your mind, leave a comment below. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.